My coverage of Computex 2023 is brought to you by Thermaltake, Cooler Master, Gigabyte, and G-Skill.
I'm gonna roll, because we gotta roll or we're not gonna roll ever.
You want me to like walk in or?
No, you can just be here.
Okay. I have to be closer to your chest for the microphone.
That's true. I mean, I just want you to smile and look pretty, Dmitry.
Okay. All right.
I'll
do that.
That's a great way to start this video. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Thermaltake booth. I am here with Dmitry. He said he's going to do all my work for this video.
All the work for you.
Narrate everything.
It's always great to meet a celebrity like yourself. So, you know, the first time I met you was at AMD Extravaganza, if you recall.
In Canada, yes.
Yeah, you were like the inspiration. So being here, making a video with you, man.
I remember recognizing Dmitry's voice, and I was like, wait, I know that voice. It's from his Hardware Connects videos. Anyway, guys, there's a lot of stuff to show here at the Thermaltake booth. Hardware Connects guys are here too, so I don't know if they're going to be popping in and out, but one of the things I love about Computex and being in Taiwan is seeing all the people you haven't seen in so long. Yeah. Let's take a look at what Thermaltake has to offer.
All right.
It's probably good, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll cut before then. Let's begin with the Tower 200. So you guys might be familiar with the Tower 100. I have done a build in it that was really nice. It turned out great. Tower style case, but the Tower 100 is limited to a 120 millimeter liquid cooler, and that's just not quite enough, especially if you're dealing with some of the newer CPUs that can get quite hot. So they have added some more space. It's a little bit taller. It's about a 1 inch wider. It's a couple inches taller, but it can now accommodate both Mini-ATX and Micro-ATX motherboards. Personally, I am a big fan of Micro-ATX motherboard supporting cases. I feel like it's a very versatile form factor that doesn't always get quite the love it should, because it's kind of the middle child, you know, between full-size ATX and Mini-ATX. So the main benefit you're going to get here is support for larger radiators. They have a 280 millimeter AIO installed right here. This is one of the new ones. We're going to take a closer look at some of those in just a minute. This one was custom designed for the show, so it actually has a finish that matches the Tower 200, because it's available in a variety of colors, a few greens. We also got white and black down at that end. Will come with fans that match the case, but this one, the AIO, they did a custom finish on it. So let me know, like, if you guys think they should do AIOs that can match the colors that they've chosen for these Tower cases. We also have an LCD panel down there at the bottom, convenience for aesthetic purposes, or if you want to have it display something functional like your system stats, that's cool too. And of course, expanded graphics card support, because we all know the 40 series can get a bit chunky on us, and you can see there is a gap down here at the bottom that lets it pass through. So even if you have a really, really long, really big RTX 40 series GPU like a 4090, it can fit in this case. I am told that the Tower 200 should be launching imminently, very soon, like as soon as the show's over. I don't have an exact date, but very quick. And the price is going to be $130 US, or $129.99, I suppose. Is it? Oh, look, there's Anthony, there's Eber, sneak it in there. So quite a reasonable price for the Tower 200 case. They've also gone with full mesh ventilation on both sides. The Tower 100, if you recall, had some glass panels. This allows them to get more ventilation for your all-in-one liquid cooler if you're mounting one right there, as well as, of course, plenty of intake for airflow for your GPU.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Dmitry, can you tell us about this case?
Wow, the new Ceres, what is it?
Ceres.
The Ceres 300.
It's like we never show that part. It's like, this is the part where we get the cheat sheet and we read off of it. Do you think we know everything about these cases? We're actually just reading it.
Sure, yeah.
See, Dmitry's a celebrity. He's a celebrity, not me. I'm trying to flip that. So the Ceres 300 TG, this is a TUF version. Ceres 300 has already been out, and this is a special edition that they have made to support the Asus TUF series motherboard that doesn't have the plugs on the front. It has the plugs on the back. I've done a build recently in the Series 500. I like the design of these cases for a few different reasons. One, they're fairly easy to build in, which is always nice. Two, again, plenty of ventilation with, I would say, a pretty distinct looking pattern there on the front. Gives it a little bit of a distinct feel, which I think is nice. And now, for people who hate seeing cables in their cases, you can put the cables on the back side. We hate cables. Cables are dumb. Why would anyone think that there should be cables connecting different components inside a computer? Obviously, that is to be shunned and should now be put here on the back side of the case. Now, this model that they have here at the show floor actually has a tempered glass side panel just so you can see through it and see the cables that you have so carefully tried to hide by buying specialty motherboard and case that allows you to do that. And my thought was, why not sell it with that tempered glass piece so that you can show people that you took the cables and hid them, and you can still show them to people? I don't know. Most of these are going to have this solid panel, as you can see on the other cases right over here. And I'll be perfectly honest, I'm still a little bit on the fence about this new trend of putting the cables on the backside. I mean, it does lead to a nice clean build, but I'm a bit of a pragmatist. And for me, like, the most practical thing I saw was like, oh, a cutout here so you can install an M.2 from the back side of your motherboard. That is practical. That's practical convenience right there. The other part of hiding the cables is perhaps a little bit more just for aesthetics, but you guys let me know in the comments, like, is this an awesome thing that you really, really want yourself? Or do you think this will stay sort of a bit of a niche thing that only a few people get because they hate cables? And yes, in case you were wondering, it's also a custom design here that they have for the Series 500 case, which is the slightly larger version in the Series. Here, you see what I did there? And for this one, they just have a motherboard installed, so you can sort of get an idea of like, oh yeah, looking at that motherboard, you can tell there are not plugs where you would normally expect there to be plugs. SWAFANs, the SWAFAN series. You guys have probably seen these on my channel. I use them in that build that I did in the Series 500 case. They're pretty cool, not just because they keep things cool because they're fans, but also because they feature swappable fan blades, so you can reverse the airflow without actually having to flip the fan around and show that unsightly rear side of the fan that has, you know, like a bracket on it. Who would want that? But you can also just, you know, like connect it like that with a magnet, and now you have 3 fans all connected with a single cable attachment. Excellent for managing RGB without an insane amount of wires, and also great if you're mounting it to a radiator, for example. It makes it much more portable and easy to install a setup like that. There is a new version of the SWAFAN that I wanted to show you guys, and that's this one right here. It is ARGB. So the one over here is the first one that they launched. This one has a Thermaltake controller box that it connects to, but for a slightly less money, and I don't know the exact price yet, but it should be a little bit less money than that one. You can get this version, which has a standard ARGB connection, so you can just plug that into an ARGB, you know, 5-volt header on your motherboard, and you're off to the races. Let's talk about AIOs next. All in one liquid coolers. Thermaltake has so many of these, so many different varieties of these that they've come out with. But they said, you know what, let's make more, let's make more. Let's make an update, so to speak. So one thing they've done with these is they sort of made a bit more squared off design for the radiator and the fans, which has, again, just a slightly different, slightly more subtle look than previous versions. So let me know if that speaks to you at all, just sort of the work they've done, just to sort of give it a slightly different shape than previous versions. I should tell you guys what these are. It's the TH-V2 ARGB series, so they of course have addressable RGB, and the pump block has a new look for it as well. These are not the Ultimate series, so they don't have LCDs, but that does help to keep the cost down. But they've gone with this look for it, which has some rivets around the outside, a bit of a beveled edge, nice, simple, bit of a gunmetal finish on there, and a tasteful RGB Thermaltake logo there in the middle as well. Because these do not have LCD screens on them, they're going to be among the more affordable AIOs in the new series from Thermaltake, and they're available in 120, 240, 280, 360, and of course, 420 Dude 420. The TUF Liquid Ultra series is already out on the market, but this is one that if you haven't seen it before, I just thought this was sort of a cool, somewhat unique take on the RGB fan theme. As you might be familiar with, lots of RGB fans have the RGB LEDs at the center of the hub. For this one, they have RGB lit the frame, and it actually has a pretty cool, like kind of a see-through part on the side with a bit of a digital design on it that I think looks pretty cool. So imagine these installed in a radiator, and you'd see them from the side of your case. It's a pretty cool look. And then we also have the TH-V2 Ultra series, and the basic upgrade here for the V2 is again the redesign of this pump block unit here. And in case you wanted to see a comparison, this is the old style version here, and I do appreciate that Thermaltake makes these so you can rotate them. So depending on the orientation in your case, you can rotate that so that the LCD faces the right way. And there's the V2 series, again with that sort of a gunmetal finish and some actual tooling poking through there, which I think is a pretty nice look. What do you guys think? For any of y'all who do water cooling, you probably are familiar with Thermaltake. They have so many water cooling products. A lot of them are unique, a lot of them are special, a lot of them are equipped with RGB lighting, which makes them look pretty cool. I thought I'd give you guys a look at the new Pacific SF fittings. You can see them here in 3 different finishes. We have the chrome, we have the white, and we have the oh so sexy matte black. These things are substantial in a way that I feel like if I were to chuck them at someone's head, it would probably kill them. And I mean that in the most positive way that you could possibly take it in. They feature rotatable knobs, which is a good feature to have on fittings. They have unique knurling, and I just like the word knurling because it's fun to say. Just look at that knurling going on right there. That's some fantastic knurling. I was briefed on the fact that like when the tube goes in here, there's a method that helps you know that it's seated all the way, and I'm sure that that works great. And of course they have an entire lineup of adapters and stuff here. These are 16mm outer diameter compression fittings, 90 degree, 45 degree, 90 and 45 degree adapters, male to male, female to female. It's a veritable orgy of fittings that we have right here. So if any of you are about to build a high-end water-cooled system, consider the new Pacific SF fittings from Thermaltake. Speaking of water cooling, one of the reasons I love coming by Thermaltake and Computex is because they always have a wide selection of custom modded water-cooled PCs made by some of the best modders in the industry. So I'm going to awkwardly segue to a brief montage showing off some of those. Damn Thermaltake, those are really nice systems, and a huge shout out to all the modders who put those together. I think my favorite was definitely that white one on the corner with the orange fluid that's rotating like the entire PC, and yet it's still on and connected. There must be some sort of proprietary custom plate at the bottom doing that. I have no idea how that was put together, but still, a fantastic build. But that is gonna wrap up my time here at the Thermaltake booth, Computex 2023. I wanna say a big thank you to my sponsors for Computex, Thermaltake, of course, as well as Cooler Master, G-Skill, and Gigabyte. I have more videos coming at you real soon, so hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you all in the next video. Oh, and thanks to Hardware Canucks for cameoing as well.